All right, Tef, so bueno, my brother got chairs, but we don't even need them no more. But cheers for that, because now you lot can sit down. My brother, smart thinking.
Cheers for
So
the
we were
cheers.
just saying though, we're in Stockwell.
Yeah.
It's mad because this is a part. To be honest with you, I've seen Stockwell so many times because we're from Tottenham. So
Yeah.
we will see it on the Victoria line.
Course.
But there's no reason for us to come
go,
here. We go
yeah.
past this to go Brixton.
Yeah.
And then we don't even go too much in Brixton because it's crazy. Once you
That's
get to
what it's like
McDonald's, it's not up to you whether you still have your phone when I was 15 anyway. But we're in Stockwell now. Talk to me
That's
about...
where I actually lived, innit? I live in Brixton, innit?
You live in
That's
Brixton?
yeah, but I was running, this is my playground when I was running around doing, do you get it?
I hear you.
But-
That's so much people had that because we had Ferry Lane
Yeah.
and bare people came Ferry Lane. So
Yeah.
you were just from Ferry Lane
Yeah.
because it's Ferry Lane, innit?
of
So,
course.
so that was kind of you for this estate in Stockwell.
Yeah. That was like,
So then
You know
in
when-
Brixton, what was you listening to in your house then? Because I'm just confused because the reasons why I thought this conversation was very important
Yeah.
is because you're one individual that hasn't had the commercial attached to it to heighten it.
Yeah.
Which means for you to stay here
Yeah.
and still be a very respected person within music, you've had to work bloody hard.
extra hard.
Bloody hard, geezer.
Extra
You've had
fucking
to
hard.
do the graphs that people don't even see.
Yeah.
All the things, all the luxuries that you have when you're signed, you probably wouldn't experience because you've been the working mechanic.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Them things, like, obviously, you work for those things, and sometimes you work for them things and you don't get them. What you do get is like a real core, like, identity and like knowledge of what type of artist you are and how to stay relevant because you've done it without a machine for so long. And that's just, I don't know, like, it's just, I learned because I had to learn, do you know what I mean? And I had to learn like how to do this and how to do this, and without the help of, say, like a A&R or a marketing person or whatever sort of field. I was just doing it, me and my manager or me and my boys, or do you know what I mean? Like, that's always been man's thing. Obviously through the years, man signed like distribution deals and things like that. But even then, you're still doing most of the stuff yourself, unless you're hiring someone to do it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just part
in
of
you,
the grind, innit? Yeah, it's just.
But that's part of grinding. So grinding to a certain extent is like a skill. And once you understand where you are, you'll be able to grind in there and make the money that you can make. You must have had that skill way before music. That sort of being able to grind, persevere, come through. What was you listening to when you was younger then? What was the music you were listening to?
So my first, I don't know, maybe my first introduction to rap music, I would say, probably, I'll say Nas.
But what was the setting? Because music has settings. On a Sunday, when Berry's Hammond was on, Mummy's hoovering, Daddy's downstairs in the studio, little food running, me and my brother are being bad. When you heard that Nas, what was the setting? What was going on?
Nah, on a Sunday, in my house, I was running Nigerian, like, gospel music, my mum and that.
Nigerian gospel?
Yeah, and
Trill.
And like King Sunny Ade and Fela Kuti and them.
Fela Kuti!
That's what's running on a Sunday.
I know that because of Skepta, trust me.
But when I'm running the rap, I'm not even allowed to listen to rap them times.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm running it like, obviously I got older brothers and sisters, and I'm like taking their CDs and listening to it on a low. And
come on.
That was my setting when I was listening to Nas. And more time, I didn't even understand what they were saying, but it just sounded so, like, just raw and
unapologetic.
Yeah, like, just like, what is this? Like, it just took me, bro.
Would you say it was almost like heightened examples, people similar to you, just in another country, but a heightened example of them being themselves? Because when I looked at musician, I was like, rah, that man's really, like when I see Puff Daddy spitting out champagne or something, like, rah, man, like, is that what Puff Daddy does when he's in the club? You were opening up your life to me musically in different ways. Yeah. What was it about Nas? Because you said Nas, and it's almost like you maybe connected with that brother there.
Nas just sounded, he sounded intelligent, but at the same time he sounded rolled, like you knew what he was talking about. But the way he was saying it was different from a man that's just giving it to you like ABC. He's breaking it down different, he's telling stories. I like the story type, right, where you can picture, even if you're not telling an actual story, what I'm saying, you can visualize it, like the way I'm describing things, you know what I mean?
So that did that play a role into the rap music that you kind of listened to from that moment forth?
Yeah, after that was like Mobb Deep, Cormega, CNN, bare Queensbridge, man.
So
Then,
you were just a New York man.
yeah, I was a New York, fully New York, man. Fully New York. Like, and then it's like when I started going to like little parties and that, you'll hear more like West Coast music. Do you get that?
Cool.
And that's when Snoop.
You know
Pac, all of
Snoop was
that.
in there.
It's mad because there's all the Snoop tunes. I can't remember what one it was, but my mum used to like the song when it would come on MTV and that. She's like, and I used to think, bro, these men got a vibe to them. They might not be as like deep and gritty as the New York man with their lyrics, but they got a vibe and the beats are just calm. You get it? So it was just like a cross between both. And then, bow, grime. Not even grime, because man wasn't calling it grime. It was just what's going on, innit? Yeah.
Talk to me about that era. What was your life around that era? What was you?
I'm talking.
Is it a college thing?
I'm in school
You're in
when
school.
So Solid come out. I'm talking.
You're
So
in
Solid.
school, brother.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, like when you had to literally look at the telly for hours just waiting for that one video to come on, and when you come on, I'm calling my brothers, come. It's
Yeah. What was that for you? Because everyone's got that one So Solid rhythm where they were like, yo, hey man, what's going on here?
It might have been, what's the one with Lady Dynamite on it? Yeah, I think it was a They Don't Know, I think.
Listen, They Don't Know was the remix.
The remix.
I don't know.
Madness.
Tonight.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah. This
When I
is
jump on the
next
microphone,
level.
explosive. They were a mad thing.
This is early 2000s, you know what I mean? And man was losing my mind. I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? And then like, Dizzy came out.
Oh my god.
And that was it, bro. And that was like, yep, I want to flipping rap
What
bars.
impacted you more, or did they both impact for different ways? Because I think some people really resonated with So Solid.
So Solid impacted me more
Okay.
Culturally, because they were from South London and it's like they're almost reachable,
Yeah,
like that. They're there. It's not like man seeing these superstars from Quay and do you get it?
This
So
is in
it's
South.
like, woo, this is in South. So I'm like, I like this. Even though like I wasn't spitting then or anything, but I could just resonate with it. Do you know what I mean? And then when Dizzy came out, it was like
Shut down.
Like it blew my mind. Like the way he was just breaking shit down and rapping, and not rapping, but it felt to me he was rapping on them
100%.
sort of beats, because his level of lyricism was just. And I didn't hear nothing like it. His voice, the pitch in his voice, the aggressiveness, the punchline, everything he was doing was crazy. And that's when I just started writing bars, bro.
Was it kind of, because for Dizzy, what I liked about Dizzy, it was the first time I saw someone do what I liked about American rap. So it was the first younger, unapologetic voice I heard amongst a group of men. Mm-hmm. So there was like all of these guys that were, but then I'm a little bit younger, they're all much older than me. I can't, there's like my older cousins, really, like you can't really fuck with this.
And man ain't going to the raves and that, so we don't really
know what's going on. I don't fully get it.
It's a radio thing them times there, but when Dizzy come out, he's like, what? And he's young, and he's just in the academics in the 80s. I'm saying, what is this, bro? It was craziness, man.
Crazy. That album, I remember listening to that album thinking to myself, I don't think I'll ever be this good.
But in the corner, I listened to it like literally a few days ago, from beginning to end, bro, and I was like, this came out how long ago? It was just blowing my mind. I was thinking, how did he do this at that age? And even made some of the beats. I'm like, bro, this is man, I don't think he gets enough props.
I don't think he understands what he done enough sometimes. Or maybe he
does.
I
don't think people understand what he done enough.
Nah, I don't think people understand. Like, there is no...
Because as much as I rate him, it took me for me to listen to that the other day and think like, bro, this is streets ahead of his time.
Blood. Me and my brother lost our... We got in so much trouble for listening to I Love You. I'm talking about MTV, you press the red button, it takes you to these exclusive videos. I remember Beyonce was there, Crazy in Love, and then I see one time Dizzy Rascal, I Love You there. I lost my... I saw Dizzy Rascal at the Jay-Z concert. He was the opening act. I lost my mind. There was nobody that was a similar age to me that was speaking. And I could understand them at that height, and they were unapologetically themselves. Get that, what? I was like... So now, what's that done for you now? You've picked up the pen.
I picked up the pen, and when I'm saying I picked up the pen, I didn't even pick up the pen to like start rapping or spitting to anyone. I was just writing, just to write bars, just to have them there. Like this is for like probably a good 2 years.
What tempo are you writing to though? Or is it just any tempo?
So I used to do obviously the grime tempo, but what you have to remember is I didn't have beats. So I'm writing over man's lyrics and that. Did you get it?
There's no YouTube for you even to access a beat. You're having to write over man's lyrics.
I'm literally writing over my favourite songs, say. But what man's doing is it's too close to the lyrics. So it's like, bruv, this ain't even hit for me. But what man could get back then was American beats.
Yeah, you could always.
I saw that like the Dat Piff and sometimes not even Dat Piff. What's that thing called?
I was lucky. My dad had vinyls in it, so I could just play the vinyl over instrumental and write all day. But then you had to get the vinyl one because that was.
You used to change the tempo on that on the vinyl.
Bruv, it was so annoying. You could make it 30, and it could make it very fast. It was sick, fam.
And then I used to get the beats, but you could get beat CDs back then. Like I can't remember what it was called, but you could get beat CDs, just bare American beats, instrumentals and that. But I would rap like double time, so it was like a grime flow.
Is that your bitch vibe?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Just like that,
bad
bro.
boy tune.
Yeah, and then, boy, it was grime, but it was like I was saying too much on a small.
I hear you.
Do you get it?
You couldn't really express yourself on that tempo, so it's like you had to fit so much information in.
So much into one, bro, and it weren't hitting.
You're giving them 2 16s in one, big man. It's like a 32 basically.
Double timing, fam. It was too much.
So it's kind of interesting because I resonate with what you're saying, like about what made you pick up a pen. It's funny. Cruz made me pick up a pen, but it's I know Dizzy Rascal made
like
Bear Man. So I
Cruz,
saw So
like
Solid.
MC Cruz.
Yeah, and I resonated with like the New York crews, like Busta
But don't get twisted, it wasn't just Dizzy, it was like the whole Roll Deep thing, it was Nasty Crew.
But then the decision when you said, scrap this, because a lot of people did, was when you saw one person speaking like you, like if you saw him on the street, you felt like you could hold a conversation with him.
Man could roll.
I did not think like that about nobody. I went drama school with him as well, so I didn't even know he was doing this.
Swear down.
We were in drama school when he was 14, Dylan, and he was a rude boy in drama school, I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
Rude boy, chief to everyone if he had to, but he was cool, he was funny as fuck, he was massive character, but very reserved. So you never even thought he was doing, nah.
Okay.
Man said to me, Paul, you know Dylan, that was in our drama school, yeah. You know he's Dizzy Rascal? Whatever, fam. Then man saw the video.
Crazy.
I said, rude boy thing. You've now decided to pick up the pen off the back of all the information. Maybe the Dizzy Rascal thing was like, I have to. You're double timing. What's happening in your life though? So what are you even rapping about? Where are we here? Are we in the estate?
Man's still in my house. Man's just my bigger brothers and that are starting to go outside and that. You get it? But I'm not even. Only street shit I know is the shit that I'm hearing in the music, but I don't even understand it anyway. I haven't been outside. I might be listening to like the baddest DMX song, but really it's like, bro, like most man's done is have fights and that in school and stuff.
So you're listening to Stop Being Greedy, and you're in your house going in the kitchen like, let me find some more food. These men are listening to Stop Being Greedy, and they're out here doing crud. It's two different energies now. So then, when do you pick up the pen and experience life out here? When was that transition happening?
I say around end of school, college times.
End of school, college times. Yeah. What are you listening to end of school, college times? Because you've had a Nas introduction, you've seen a lot of So Solid, you've seen the Dizzy Rascals.
Around them times, a lot of Styles P, I say, and a lot of Styles P and 50 Cent.
You're a cheater. Them. No, you're not fair. Do you know what you've done?
Why?
Because you've treated it like school and you've had different subjects. So you started off with real authentic Queensbridge rap and then you've kind of learnt that style. You've got that's your mechanic. You've got a bit of So Solid, that's in your mechanic. You can double time if you need to be. You got the Dizzy Rascal mechanic. Yeah. And now you've ended up, whilst you're on road, listening to authentic street shit. And you're talking D-Block, mad thing.
The whole D-Block.
Whole D-Block.
All of that.
Go.
Bit of Dipset. It was just, I don't know, like it was something about, it's like, do you know what gets me with music? Yeah. It's not really necessarily what you're saying or whatever, it's your slang and how, like, how do they talk where you're from? Like, I hate when I hear a man and I don't even know where he's from. Like, I can't tell because he just sounds like everyone else from he's just taking everyone else's
What
slang.
did I say to you
hate
about that guy in the cut? You just get an insight to that world. It's
Do you know what I
mad.
mean?
So
I hate it, but see, like with me, bro, you could never listen to my music and say he's not from South London.
You would know
Make
he's
it
from the
so-
South.
He's from, you know what I mean? Like,
Come
you
on.
know where man is from when man is rapping. And my thing is always like, slang used to grasp me. You know who slang used to grasp me a lot? Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Prodigy.
He used to say certain things and I'd be like, I don't even know what that means, but that's hard. Like, what's that?
And the
Do you know,
thing is,
that's hard. Like, what does that even mean, bro?
So I had the flip with that because I started listening to Snoop Dogg, like first album,
Yeah.
and his whole thing was about styling and slang.
Yeah, of
So he
course.
was on this wavy thing. I didn't know what was going on, but I thought this
Making
is
long words out of words and that, yeah.
And then
yeah.
I was listening to Max B with my brother for New York stuff.
that's good.
So then, because it's Max
Maxi.
B and then it's Dipset,
Yeah.
I just love slang. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're trying to make our own slang.
Yeah,
So
that's what
you're
I'm saying.
loving the slang out of these guys, and that's what's drawing you towards them. What does that do to your pen?
Made me want to create shit that was my shit, that
Yeah.
stylized by me. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, so
this
out
is-
of the principles that you've seen, you've admired it, and you've not said I'm going to imitate it. You said, but who am I?
Yeah, I need identity now. Like in my,
Important.
I need identity now. I need
course.
to put my signature on this thing. Cause
How did you go about doing that? Because it's like it's one thing to think it, but I think it's the process where we all get lost. I've definitely got lost, mate.
do you know, it's me. Yeah? I've always been good with like words. Like when I was young, I used to read a lot. I don't read no books at all now.
Serious?
If I do read a book, it'd be like an audio book or something. 'Cause I just hate like visually seeing words now. Unless it's the newspaper, I'm not really gonna read. Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to read a lot of books back then. Yeah. And English was my favourite subject. Literally my favourite. Obviously, apart
serious?
from like PE and
Oh,
other,
P
like,
was for the man them.
the active stuff.
Yeah, P was man them.
Bro, the only English I ever got was in English. It was in only A I ever got in my educational life was in English.
You got
My
an A in
GCSE
English?
Yeah, I got A.
Man, bro,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying,
That
man.
was
Let's
the-
encourage that more, man. Even Chip got rude boy GCSEs. There's some rappers out there getting GCSEs, my brother.
I couldn't even. I got like a few, mostly B's and C's, but the only A I got was in English. But even then, I knew I was just mucking around in school. I didn't really, not that I didn't take it serious, but it wasn't that important to me. Do you know what I mean?
I'm
I
with
just
you.
didn't.
The only A me and the man them got was at the end. We were like, hey, we finished, cuz.
Yeah.
There was no A's going
Yeah,
on.
but
So
with that, yeah, I would do like, even then, yeah, like say my favorite song, my favorite Nas song or Tupac or whoever, yeah. If it was that deep, sometimes I'll write down the lyrics of the song.
where?
Just write it down.
Just anywhere.
Just write it down. So I can break down what they're actually saying and read it back without the music.
So let me, because
So
I'm
making like
trying to break down the
literature
mechanic
from
of
my
you.
favorite songs now.
This is crazy. So you read a lot when you was young. So you're used to processing information and
Yes,
storing it in.
yes.
With that skill, you've then used that same skill in music.
Yeah.
So when you're taking in music, it's making you understand the information and then you're able to interpret it in your own style.
Yes.
As you.
Yes.
This is ridiculous, bro. Because that's a lot of information.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think
lot.
that process there has helped you maintain the person that you are because it took you so long to go through that process
Do you know
of...
what's mad, bro? I feel like, sorry to cut you off, bro.
No,
but
go.
I feel like man's had like 2 different careers as an artist.
Talk me
Like,
through this.
I feel like the career we're talking about now, like them days, writing, grime days, listening to a lot of New York rap, and then like the re-evolution, like after, like when UK rap has become a thing now, a proper scene. Like, remember the scene's young. It's not
Yeah.
even. It's a baby still,
Definitely.
and it's like not even like a slight on all the rappers that's been doing this from Quay back. There's even rappers, probably UK rappers, when man was in Pampers that was doing their thing. But I'm talking about as a scene, like collectively how it
I
is
totally
now.
understand where you're coming from. As a thing that's got commercial revenue where people can actually make tangible money out of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and you can say to your mum, as a 15-year-old boy, I want to be a rapper.
And man are
It
selling
can
out
happen. When we were
shows
doing
everywhere.
it, if you said to your mum, 15 years old, I want to be a rapper,
She would've
she would
looked
hand you your CV,
All right,
and you're going, Argos.
all right then.
What's the catalogue number? 765-2121.
So it's like that career and this career, and it's like back then it was a hobby.
Yeah.
It was strictly a hobby. It weren't like, oh, man's gonna make a mad thing off this, or it was just literally, man, this is fun, it's passion, it's what I like doing in my spare time or whatever. and fuck it, I'm good at it. Do you know what I mean?
What does hobby mean though? Because do you know what? I like that word. But it could have.
It's your leisure, isn't it? It's like.
Because I like the word, but I just don't agree with it, because by society terms, you shouldn't be making money then. Because by society terms, they label, because English lit will never be a hobby. RE will never be a hobby.
No.
Geography will never be a hobby. All of them things will never be a hobby, but guess what? For me, they were hobbies, because the things that I took serious wasn't that.
Yeah,
so essentially, this, what I'm doing now, was my subject.
Yeah.
And music was your subject.
Oh, so this is your subject and those are your hobbies?
Those are my hobbies.
Okay.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
Because now in life, this is what pays me. This is what pays you. So music, English, they were like serious things to you. I imagine listening to music outside of that was like a subject to you. Because I've listened to your journey and you've gone through different stages.
I took it serious.
Like you were in, you know, for example, I don't know, year 3 to year 6 and then year 7, you've had stages like that as preparation for today.
And all this I'm saying is, this is like before I've even, say, made a name for myself, as in a title or artist name.
So
no one don't even know my bars yet.
So before anyone even knows anything about you really, this is all the preparation you've done?
Yeah. Like this isn't, obviously in hindsight it sounds nice, but this isn't me planning or knowing this is how,
of course not,
this is just how it's going.
Yeah. How I think life should go. Once you do what you like and you know what you like, you just do that, and eventually it will become what it becomes. So let's talk about the point now when, we can fast forward a bit. We've gone through the garage situation. We're at the point we've listened to Grime, Dizzy Rascal, we've talked about Soul Solid. We're at Styles P now, you said.
Yeah, but this is...
What's happening? You're out here now.
At the same time, right, this is the same time man's starting to come outside more, man, seeing more things, badness is happening, like to man and from man. So it's like, oh, okay, man can kind of talk about this stuff now. Do you know what I mean? And man can just express myself. Man's young, man's free, man don't even know what man's gonna be in the world. Man's just trying to make a little, just away from himself, bro. And that alone, as a young man and growing up in South London, young black man at that, you know what that's like. Even if you're trying to stay on the straight and narrow, you can always go left. And for me, and like mine at the time, it was going left. Like, I probably saw my first friend die when I was probably 16. I say 16. And then it's like every other summer after that. This is what's happening. Do you get? And people that I know from over there and over there, we're talking like mid to late 2000s. So you know how it was back then.
Unfortunately,
being from where you're from, you know how it was.
So then how can I say this? Because I went outside when I was in college as well. Before that, I was just going to school and coming home.
And when I say outside, I don't mean just coming out of the house. I mean like we was getting play.
I'm talking about social. I'm talking about really socializing, experiencing life. Before that, you're just going school and coming home, really, and a little on your estate and have you. But
little football.
But world was 16. All right, cool. Now I'm going parties and couple. That's when the world started. Now I adjusted very badly to the harsh realities of what life had to show. I responded very badly. I was like, whoa, this is too crazy. How did your response go from Nas up to Styles P to real life? How did that affect your mechanic, you feel, as the person that you are? Because you started off Sunday, gospel music, Nigerian gospel, my mum, that's where it's all started. Now we're at Styles P. I'm out here. Obviously the gospel is the guide because that's your foundation. How are you operating and your expectation? How is that being matched with what's happening in life through music?
I'm reacting in a ignorant way.
Ooh.
Like just to life in general. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm probably having fallouts with my mum and that.
Serious.
I'm not taking education serious. I'd rather be outside. Like I'm not coming home too late. Just being mad, ignorant, everything. Smoking weed. That's when I started smoking weed. You know what I mean? It's like,
which is now actually legal if you use the right medical card, people. Just throwing out there.
So it's like, this is what it is now, man. But them, at the same time, I'm seeing more people blow, not necessarily blow, but I'm seeing more people become popular within this culture. So we're talking like Kanos, the people that would come after that. You know what I mean? Like, and it was, nah, this is a mad thing. I need to, obviously the streets and that's appealing, but the music was more appealing. Then it was more appealing, and it was like, I knew there was like money in the streets, because this is when man's starting to make a bit of money and that, but it's not great money. Man will probably have a better job. Man will probably get better money having a nice job, but man's still more enticed by just being in the streets, doing whatever. But then I was like going radio. I started going radio on that then times. Pirate radio, you know the pirate radio.
Come on, pirate radio was lit.
Bear man, one mic, all of that, and that was like something that would just, even if it was once or twice a week, it would just keep man away from just being on the block doing nothing.
100%.
And then I liked that. Obviously, even though something could happen there, it felt like a break from
the madness.
Yeah.
An escapism.
Yeah, it just felt like a break, and at the same time, man is expressing himself. So that's like man's therapy. It's kind of therapeutic, just going and spitting my new 16 that I wrote.
Cold.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, man was getting drawn in, because obviously things is happening every other day outside. Man's getting drawn in to the hood shit, to the point where, do you know what? Man still writes on that, but I don't even got a radio no more. Man, not even.
So now it's pulled you. So now your distraction through your ignorance has drawn you away from your love.
Yeah.
You're even getting into arguments with your mum.
Yeah.
Where are we now in our musical journey? Are we still listening to Styles P?
We're listening, not as much. We're listening to more like your. Who can I say? There was, I think it was like Jeezy and all the trappers came out.
I thought so, because
Jeezy era.
Styles P doesn't really, because my people that listen to Styles P.
Max B was in between there as well somewhere.
Course.
Obviously,
He's
Max is
the
the wave god. Like, he was keeping man on some next type of emotions, but Max was
God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's cold.
Man was a big Max fan still, but yeah, Jeezy. I think Jeezy was holding it down for a minute still. It might have been Jeezy man was pumping, because everyone wanted to get money them times there when I was listening to Jeezy.
So that became our Bible, so to speak.
Yeah, that was the anthem every day, man. It's just trap. Yeah, and then shortly after that, now this is when gigs has come out. And when I say come out, I don't mean commercial. I mean gigs was in everybody's phone, everyone's car. Everyone had a gig CD. That you couldn't get away from that. It was like a pandemic, bro.
I think that was the most.
Like
that was Corona.
I'm telling you.
That if you're talking the
What's
hardest.
This, like 06, 07 times. Yes.
I don't know one phone
Forget about it.
of a man that was a social active person. I don't know one person who didn't have that on their phone. And if they didn't have it on their phone, and at that time, if I saw two phones together on a table, I knew what they were sending. I knew what they were sending on the infrared. I know what they were sending. Now, I want to continue this part of the conversation, because this is the exciting one. We might have to do a part 2 in January, because we've been 35 minutes now.
We might have to. So we're done?
Yeah, 35 minutes.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Bruv, all I have to say to you is,
the story's too long.
So long.
It's so long to unpack.
Maybe it has to be in a part 2. We go somewhere else, and I'm willing, whenever, you let me know, because this part now is a good part. Look, we're going to do an ending here.
Okay, cool.
Tef's looking for his gaffer. There's nothing wrong with it. No, it's all right. It's raw over here, fam.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not trying to be like we're raw over here. He's going to get a cab out here. He's going to get his manager out here. I'm going to jump in his car, because as you can see, man's in the hood. Callum, don't worry. No problems with you. You'll be fine. Just leave them running, sit there. I'll phone you in a bit. All right, let's go to your brethren's car. There's a manager in it, yeah. Callum, don't worry, man. You're good, fam.